Welcome back to Petroma Therapy. Here we are in June 2022. We're going to go ahead and call this season that we're in summer spring. So the last time we got together was about a year ago. We talked about ice cream, we talked about cookies, we talked about bridges, we talked about poetry, and we're back. Summer Spring, episode 1, and we're going to go ahead and call it Time Flies. So, how have you been in this past year?
Well, first of all, Natasha, if I may call you Natasha, I'm very glad to hear you and have you back. And I've been doing, well, now when you ask it, I don't know what to say, but I'm still here, okay? And that's the bright side of the story. And
Yes.
but how have you been? Let's talk about you, because you've initiated
Well,
this call, and you've been the power beyond. You've been the sponsor of this channel.
we're co-sponsors because remember, this is Petroma Therapy, and we get together for therapy, which means we discuss exciting, disturbing, and interesting topics. And hopefully, after we talk a little bit, some of our listeners listen, maybe we feel a little bit better, because it's been a strange year. I think everyone that I know online and in person has struggled financially, emotionally, psychologically. Relationships have been really stressed out. Finances are stressed out. The world is stressed out. So given all that, I will just say in French, plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose, which is the more things change, the more they stay the same. Actually, I'm still dealing with the same stuff I dealt with before the pandemic. How about you?
I think we are in this vicious circle when we all have to do with whatever it is we were doing before the pandemic hit, and that's what makes me wonder if we're going somewhere. But definitely, we're recording this new episode, and the word "new" explains itself. I haven't changed much, by the way. I was kind of hoping that this new style of life, new professions, new industries would somehow make me richer, but so far it's rather on the contrary. So
Well,
time
I mean, yeah,
money wise,
inflation is
yeah.
terrible. Inflation is terrible all over Europe. And gas, groceries, everything is up all over the United States. The trucking and transport and just getting goods from one place to the next, gasoline. Like inflation is just like rampant, and a lot of people have been able to just barely hold their own, and a lot of people are really struggling. I've got a friend who loves to do road trips, Mr. Anton, and he was saying he's not sure if he's going to do his road trip to the beach over 4th of July because gas is so expensive.
Yeah,
And
that's them beaches are
just the thought,
expensive. Yeah,
yeah.
and I was thinking maybe I should not you, but somehow I started to read Financial Times. I've never ever read it. I've usually I what I read was New York Times, and now it's Financial. I don't know why. Did you? What kind of newspapers you read these days?
Well, I read several different newspapers. I read the headlines and stuff for the New York Times. I used to live in Houston, so Houston is like an oil capital, so I read the Houston Chronicle. I'm from San Antonio, so San Antonio Express, Dallas Morning News, and then also I read the Moscow Times.
Oh, I
And
remember. I remember
these
you
are
told me
it's
once.
done
Yeah,
by
that's
some.
very strange.
It's an independent journalist that just give different perspectives, and I find it very interesting. They have a lot of sort of controversial
Are they
things,
still
and
up? Because I
so
haven't
like I'm not
seen.
reading it from cover to cover. I'm reading like headlines, and then I
Absolutely.
choose what
Yeah,
stories to
yeah,
read.
yeah, absolutely. Are they still up? I thought maybe the website is down or something. No, they're alive or on life support.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Oh,
good. I think with a lot of online monitoring, like there's, you know, uh, data harvesting and people grabbing each other's information. I think since I'm not a crazy, insane person, I'm just a
you're not.
curious
No, you're
intellectual.
not. Absolutely
My
not.
online life is rather innocent.
Uh-huh.
I'm not, just, focusing on one thing. So I'm
What about
looking at art,
offline?
music,
What
literature.
about
So I think
offline
I'm
life? You got
probably
this word
a safe
innocent. Yeah,
person, but
sorry.
I have some other friends that you and I may actually know them in common from Petroma Therapy times that have been banned from YouTube. They've
Mm-hmm.
been banned from MeWe world because they have expressed some opinions that whoever is monitoring the
Oh
online
yeah,
world,
story of my
they don't
life.
like those
Mm-hmm.
opinions, so they've been banned.
Yeah,
So
I've been banned many
it's
times.
very
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, they're not allowed to post. Their
I do.
sites are taken down, and
Absolutely.
it's that's one thing that's changed in the past year. Is it what I call your average person, a truck driver or somebody who travels around the country, or I have a friend in France. They say that they're aware that they're being monitored much more.
Do you
And
think I'm sorry. Go on.
go ahead, no,
Is
yeah,
there
go
any
ahead.
chance that our channel, Patroma Therapy, getting banned one day?
No,
No, good. Okay, good. Because I thought you would say, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, and we would because the freedom of speech and all. But that's what they banned people for.
Well, no. The thing is
No.
that the
Okay.
content, our content, we're not just on a mono content. We're not just one content. We have like art, music, literature, travel, kind of humor. We have couple guest speakers. We had Mark Stevens. Possibly we might have Tony from the UK.
Absolutely, I remember.
So
Yeah.
we're overall we're kind of a buffet of different things going on. So if we only were harping on one topic, those those types of topics tend to be monitored and sometimes taken down. I have another friend here in Dallas who's going to start his online streaming, and he's taking on some really controversial stuff. And his name is Alex, and he's actually just getting all his stuff up and running. So it's kind of coincidental that, I don't know, about a week or 10 days ago, I was looking at a magazine about watches and about high-end watches, and then I came across, I don't know, your other channel about, Russian literature, and then Mark was talking about trains, and then Alex was talking about some online streaming, and then here we are. So I don't know, I feel like the time is right now to relaunch Petroma Therapy, and I think if we keep sort of a lighthearted spirit, we're open to different ideas and we're open to different interpretations, but certainly a lot has changed.
It's funny how
In
you
the
mentioned
past
time. Yeah, you
year.
mentioned time, and then you mentioned watches. I love watches. Watch is the only accessory I think men are entitled to because well, you're not a woman basically, so there is only thing you can play with is a watch, and that's why they're so expensive. Some watches worth fortune. I'm telling you, and I don't mean Rolex. There are much more expensive ones, but I love them. Citizens, you mentioned. I love Citizens. I have few. I think they're like one of the nicest. But maybe one day I'll buy something like Omega, which I know went to the moon. In when was it
Did
that the
it? Did
Yeah,
it?
Neil Armstrong took it to the moon.
60,
That's the only watch actually that's been.
69 or something?
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
don't
They
know. I
have
don't know.
this. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can Google
Somewhere
it.
in the 60s.
Yeah, that's
Well,
kind of.
I was looking through some old photographs and I found a picture of myself. I don't know, maybe I was 8 years old or 12 or something like that, and I was making my first Holy Communion. It was a religious ceremony, and I'm standing in my grandfather's yard, and I have my little communion dress on. It's like white. I have a little veil. I have a very strange look on my face. My hands are behind my back, but I remember I was given a watch on my communion day, and then I remember when I graduated from college, I was given a watch. I remember when my grandfather, when he passed away, my grandmother asked me if I'd like to have his pocket watch. It was like a gold pocket watch that opened up, So
Hmm.
watches have been very important to me over time. In Dallas, there was a woman named Mary Kay who started a business of selling cosmetics in the home.
Yeah, I
And as the
remember.
women would make these sales, if they made a lot of sales, they could earn a pink Cadillac. So Mary Kay originated in Dallas, and I
Oh,
actually have a Mary Kay watch that I picked up at a
I knew about
antique
cosmetics,
store.
but yeah, I didn't know she originated in Dallas.
Yes, also a lot of great people came from Dallas. I'm telling you, Mick Jagger's
No, the actor,
Bianca.
the famous actor who movie star. What's his name? The True Detectives. Do you remember who filmed in it? He's from Texas, maybe not from Dallas. He's from Uvalde, actually. I'm very sorry what happened just a few weeks ago in Uvalde, the shooting. I mean, he's from Uvalde. He was
Oh
born
yes.
there.
Oh
What's
yeah,
his
yeah,
name?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
Matt
Yeah, Matthew
McConaughey. Yeah,
McConaughey. Exactly. It's in
yeah.
Texas.
He was he was actually they were actually considering him. He was considering maybe running for governor, and it's interesting. We have there's clocks at schools. There's clocks on our wrists. There are some parts of Dallas that have like a big
Yeah.
clock downtown, on a tower or something like that. And you've been to London, right? Isn't Big Ben in London?
Yeah, Big Ben is in London, but I'm not sure if the time is accurate. Nobody cares anymore because I remember a time when no one had phones and other gadgets because now wherever you look you see the time, and it used to be that no one had time, no one didn't know anything what time it is, except the people who had watch. And now watch is not used as a tool anymore, it's used as an accessory, as I said. And
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. And when I came across that Mary Kay watch, it has like that same face. It's like the Citizen watch, and it has the Roman numbers on it,
Numerals, yeah.
and it has a pink leather band. And so I have had it for several years. Before the pandemic, I went to a watch repair guy. I said, "Well, can you like fix this?" And he wanted like $100. Or I go, I didn't even pay that much for it, so I didn't get it repaired. So I took it out the other day, maybe 2 days ago. I took it to a different person. He said it just needs a new battery. He said this battery is a battery that was made in the 1980s, and he just happened to have those batteries with him. So he put the battery in, and it cost like $15. So for $15, I was like so happy to have my Mary Kay watch going again. But
Yeah.
I'm not wearing it to tell time. I'm wearing it as an accessory.
Absolutely,
It's summertime.
absolutely. But if the
It's
battery
cute.
is from the 80s, it's got to be old and, I mean, dried up probably. I don't know how it worked. Uh,
Well, the interesting thing about it is that he had the spare batteries in a little drawer. He's a very interesting fellow. Yeah.
well, no,
Very,
the
very
spare
interesting.
batteries, they should have been made like a year ago, maybe, or two, but not from 20 years ago back.
I don't know.
When
I
I
don't
look
know.
at
I've
the
also been
dial.
thinking. Go ahead.
No, I mean when I look at the dial, it's all the same, but it's still the days are different, and I think our life, every day or every season, is like the snow falls, and you see, oh, this is snow, like you see it for the first time in your life, although
I know.
you've been up and running
Yeah.
for 50 years, for
And
instance.
exactly.
It's all the same, but at the same time, it's each time it is the first time. There is first time for everything. I don't know how it works. And when the dial, when I
No,
see the
it's
watch, the hand,
yes.
yeah, funny. Watch, I love watches. Absolutely, it's strange that we discussed this topic in the first episode after such a long, what do they call it? Pause, not the pause, but
Hiatus. Hiatus.
what's hiatus?
Hiatus. 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 Like a long break.
Oh,
Pause.
I didn't know that word. Oh,
Well, the
no.
other thing,
Reset.
you
Okay.
go to therapy, you learn words.
Absolutely, I better
It's going to be
myself.
very.
Hmm.
It's gonna be great. Well, I was thinking about how there's a poem that has these lines. When I thought about time flying, it's a poem by Andrew Marvell. It's called "To His Coy Mistress," and he's kind of creating this poem as kind of a flirtatious poem, but it written in the, I think the 17th century. But the lines that came to me, he talks about time being like a chariot crossing the sky. And on some faces of watches, you'll see a little chariot crossing the sky, or you'll see a sundial, or you'll see something. But in the Andrew Marvell poem, he says, and at my back I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near.
Mm.
So every moment that we're aware that we're alive, we're getting one step closer to death.
Oh God, you shouldn't have said that. But anyway, let me look at the bright side. Look at the bright side. When she said time, and I think time is a fourth dimension, because I just learned it recently. I thought, okay, 1, 2, 3, okay, what's the fourth? And I've learned that time is the fourth dimension. And scientists, those crazy people, they don't even use the space word without time. They call it space-time continuum. They don't have time like we do.
Yes.
So that is...
Right.
I don't know what time is. So sometimes you look back, it's been like 20 years ago, but it feels like it was just this afternoon, for instance. And sometimes you just can't wait for another minute.
Exactly. And like when I was saying, I was looking at that photograph. It's a black and white photograph of myself at age 8, or maybe I'm 10. I can remember I was so puzzled at that time, and I just looking at the photograph, it's like I'm there again. Or I was flipping back through our channel, Petroma Therapy, and thinking it's been a whole year since we talked about ice cream and cookies and things, but somehow it feels fresh to be in touch again. I mean, it's like you were saying,
absolutely,
live where it's cold and there's snow, but yet somehow every time it snows, it's magical and wonderful. And here we are, here I am in Texas. It's like 104 degrees, and like, why am I surprised? It was hot last summer. It was hot the summer before, but here I am, like, wow, it is so hot, like as if I've never experienced it before.
Yeah, I haven't spoken English for like since 2020 when we broke up. Did we break up?
Really?
We were okay. And do you think we should wrap it up while I'm on fire? Because I'm about to start mumbling and stuff.
Yes, I think it's time to say goodbye. So adios for now, and we'll see you for the next episode. Goodbye.
Ciao.